Now, this is a fact that will come to our observation when we will understand the fact of continuity, right? Because if there is continuity, there cannot be anything new, because new means something which is different from the already existing stuff, right? So let's say I have, just to explain the continuity again, let's say I have ice and I heated it by applying heat. So delta sign is used for heat, which produced water, liquid state. This is the solid state of water, right? So the solid water is getting transformed into liquid water. So if these two states, that is the ice and the water, liquid water, if they are not interconnected with each other, that is state 1 and state 2, if they are not connected, then how this transition or change will be possible? It's impossible, right? If something is changing from one state to another, that means they has to be connected. If they are connected, that means there is no gap. Without any gap and continuity, that is the connection, they has to be same, because without sameness there has to be a gap. Since there is no gap, why there is no gap? Because we can observe that one thing is getting transformed into another. Otherwise the ice will remain as ice, water will remain as water, but that's not happening. Ice is transforming into water. That means they are connected. If they are connected, that means there is total continuity. If there is continuity, then what we are calling as change is not a change at all. It's just a concept that we are projecting. Why we are projecting? Because we think that there are a lot of sense perceptions, different colors, different touch sensations, different all sorts of different things, observations, right? We think that they are different, and based on that we are creating objectification of different actions, right? This is a very fundamental error that we have. And again, we are not able to, after I mean, realizing that ice and liquid, they are interchanging, that means there is continuity, still we have the error. Why? Because we have in our head the concept of three dimension this three dimension, and in the center of this three dimension we always put our head, and we compare that here is something and there is something, these two are interchanging. Oh, fine, there is continuity, but I am different from those. So the seed of discontinuity is still present, unless we are fully observed that we who are constantly taking and releasing stuff like water, air, light, everything we are taking and we are excreting, right? That means we are in perfect continuity with the surroundings, and a center cannot move here and there, right? But we are moving, I mean, freely. So there is this fixed position that I'm in the center, and everything is different than me. Everything is discontinued from me, and I have a individual existence which is separate than the whole unity, is a error, the main error that creates the illusion of this discontinuity, right? So in absolute sense, or when one realizes that there is absolute continuity, then there cannot be any creation. Just like a change of state is just illusion or a concept, the creation is also a concept, because there cannot be any creation. Everything is already there. I mean, anything that we claim we are creating is not different than the thing that we are using to create, right? And since the cause and the effect, that is the material that we are using to make something, those two are basically connected with each other, just like the melting of ice to liquid water, right? So there cannot be any discontinuity, and with absolute continuity there cannot be any creation. So creation is a illusion that is present in our consciousness. Okay, exactly the thing that we just discussed right now, that this is a concept that we superimpose just to fulfill our desire that we can enjoy by creating or by putting uh, meaning to something, right? That's the most important thing, the ability to superimpose. Machines doesn't have that ability, and that's why AI or whatever the hell people are trying to do to make consciousness or this first person experience, that will be impossible because they won't have any ability to superimpose, and because there is no desire at all. And since there is no superimposition capability, there is no desire. It's a fact. Okay, next. So as we just discussed in previous slides, that all the concepts, this, that we can create something, I can talk, I can know, these are concepts, like these are explanations. All these explanations are stored in different layers of observability. So the act the bottom of these layers are is basically when we are completely blind, total ignorance. We don't know what the hell is going on. We are trying to get something that is completely our illusion, that we can have something. So all those things are going on, but we are thinking that we are doing something. That's the lowest level of reality. And then comes when you know that what you did so far, that's improvement. You 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 got to the next higher level of reality, right? And based on the power of observability, depending on how much clarity you have, that actually falsify all the informations or concepts you have in different layers of observability. All the layers will have different concepts, and you have to, or we have to know each one of them by accessing those levels. They are just state of ignorance, you can say. So more you know the ignorance, the more you will be knowing yourself by getting closer and closer and closer to yourself. That's the beauty or fun in self knowledge. There are six main categories of beliefs that we have, basically, that we can fulfill this, we can do that, we can do this. Those beliefs are there, we have, and they are basically six kinds of categories are there. And based on those categories, there are six corresponding desires that are named, or the names also given by us, but we can use the names just to mean the feeling that the names corresponds to, right? So the first is that I can extract sexual pleasure by having intercourse with the sexiest female or man that is available, and that is treated called as lust. Then comes the arrogance, which is basically the feeling that I can become superior to someone. Then comes the greed, that I can possess some important or precious stuff. Then comes the delusion that nothing will happen to me because I don't I don't see that everything is going through a shift or a change, which is no change at all, but this change is there just to know this is not a change. The change is an action that is happening. This body will be no more after few years maybe, but I, the observer, will be there. So this delusion that I am this body and nothing will happen to me, whether I am taking drugs or alcohol or cigarettes or bad foods, nothing will happen to me. I'm strong and I can do whatever the hell I want. That's the state of delusion. And then comes the jealousy that I can, that someone is superior to me. So I have to also attain that state or attain to that power or whatever that brings the competition or whatever. And then comes the anger, not able to fulfill all of them. And if someone mocks me or humiliates me, I feel angry. So all these things or all these desires are based on what? Based on few factors, that I is there, which is identified with the body, and then I always uh, associate with my body, and I think that I am doing. Because of that association, my body is interacting all the time. Right now this hand is moving, but I am thinking I'm interacting this hand, right? But just as we know, few videos ago, we just had this discussion that the ex the observer who is able to explain has to be different than the action, otherwise there won't be any superimposition or explanation, right? So this action, the act of explaining right now to you, this action is completely different than the observer of this action. That's the very crucial breakthrough that one has to do or achieve, uh, the body consciousness. Once you know that it is impossible that you are this body, then the real fun begins actually. Yeah. So the main thing, if we summarize, is that this body is basically my body, the belief that we have based on the ignorance, right? That this body is basically my body and I am the doer of all the actions, because I am already associated with my body. But look at this trick. When someone asks me that who are you, I don't say that this is me. I say this is my body. But when my body is acting or engaged in some sort of interactions, that time I claim that I am doing it, right? Look, observe this phenomenon. Okay. I am the doer of all the actions that the body is going through, and hence I am the enjoyer. So since I already attached myself with the body, then comes the belief of I am able to achieve some enjoyment, fulfillment of some enjoyment, or I am not able to achieve. And then comes the pleasure and suffering game. And we all are trapped in this is game. And there is no pleasure, there is only suffering. Pleasure is the illusion that keeps us in this illusion, in this game, that we will be one day we will be having the pleasure. Please observe this. And all results are superimposed concepts pre-existing, because I can achieve this pleasure. That very explanation or information is a superimposed concept that is pre-existing, right? Without that concept, I won't be able to enjoy that concept as an enjoyment. I already have that concept within me. So that is also another thing that we have to understand or observe. So like this sentence, the concept of pre-existing and these things, these are very crucial sentences that demands further explanation. But right now, since this series of videos or this playlist is mainly focused for memory, then that's why I'm not going into the depth of these pre-existing concepts. But you can grasp what this statement is basically trying to say, right? Any idea that we are able to superimpose, or any meaning or any explanation that we can give to something, that meaning has to be there within me or within the storage, right? The storage is not the brain or nerve that we already discussed before. So that meaning or that explanation or that information has to be present. Otherwise, we won't be able to recognize that this is a pen. Or if someone tell me, look, this is a pen, then I can relate that, oh, this object is a pen. Okay. You see what I mean? The correlation is possible because I already have this impression with a name and form. Any name and form that can possibly exist in this entire existence, all of us already have that. And it's just a matter of time when we will see or observe those name and forms, and we will recognize, oh, this is that, this is that, this is that, this is the Star Trek movie, this is the planet, this is black hole, like that, the white hole. Just try to observe that if someone is imposing an explanation, that explanation has to be within him, right? It's just the action which is triggering that explanation, that yeah, this must be that, that must be that. And any explanation is bound to be false because the action is indescribable, but we are throwing those projections just to uh, just to project meaning on those actions so that we can enjoy those actions, or we can know that this is false and we can get closer and closer to our true selves, right?